Needs a remake. So recently I played through Super Mario Sunshine again, for the third time to be exact. And it made me realize why so many people seriously like this game. The upbeat music, the holiday setting, the different levels, the piantas. Nah, just kidding, nobody likes them. Everyone who likes Sunshine will probably also tell you why it deserves a remake, so you can replay it once more in beautiful HD, and I belong to these people, only that I have different reasons. Playing through this game again just made me realize how flawed it actually is, especially if you're aiming for the 120 shines. At this point I'd even call this game more of a guilty pleasure of mine than a game that I seriously like. The Sunshine fanbase probably hates me now, but hear me out on what I think needs to be fixed if Nintendo will ever remake it. Let's start with something that's connected to some other flaws which I will address later. Super Mario Sunshine is the 3D Mario with the least stars. Or in this case, shines. Practically speaking, there are only 96 of them, which isn't a lot compared to Mario 64's and Galaxy's 120, 64DS 150, or Galaxy 2's 242 stars. And while you'd think that a smaller shine count would lead to more variation among the missions, a lot of shines are just gained by replaying secret levels with red coins or beating this godforsaken blooper for the third time. It feels quite repetitive at times, and while people always say that Sunshine is the most challenging 3D Mario of them all, the challenge definitely doesn't come from the main shines being hard to get. What's confusing to me is why the game never really takes advantage of the great levels it has. In Mario 64, a lot of stars were just placed somewhere on the map and could be simply obtained by platforming. In Sunshine you usually have to solve a problem, beat a boss or collect 8 red coins, even though some levels have huge chunks that are pretty pointless for getting the main episode's shines. The game also features a Shadow Mario chase in the 7th episode of every level. These are also rather repetitive considering they're just the same thing in 7 different environments. The 7th mission in Riku Harbor though made me realize a completely different problem with the game. The controls are kind of weird. Most of the time they won't bother you because the game is on the GameCube and that means you're playing it with this, which makes the experience at least 10 times better. But not even the GameCube controller could help me when I had to control Mario over narrow constructs or over turning kids' toys? What even are these things? Rolling pins? The controls in Sunshine can be described as really direct, because Mario is exactly moving in the direction the player wants him to. Problem is, as soon as you make a mistake, you can't fix it on your own because as opposed to Galaxy, you can't adjust your jumps in midair. Most of the time, you can save yourself with FLUDD, but in secret stages where you don't have him, a jump in a slightly wrong direction can mean instant death. Unfortunately, it doesn't end here. The entire situation gets even worse due to poor camera settings. The camera has always been a bigger problem in all Mario 3D titles, but Sunshine has the most problematic of them all. Most of the time you can't really adjust it, and if you can adjust it, it's not really smooth and can even make you fuck up when you change the viewpoint while moving. Something different that actually started to annoy me over time, even though I never heard anyone complaining about it, Sunshine runs at unstable 30 FPS. Sometimes it has noticeable frame drops that are mainly caused by huge objects or a lot of water. This doesn't help the direct and fast controls of the game whatsoever. And it gives you the feeling that you sometimes lose control over the game because the performance is so poor. Sunshine is also one of the few Mario games that run at 30 FPS, which makes it even more noticeable. Talking about bad performance, Super Mario Sunshine also isn't the most polished game at times. You know what I'm talking about here. Yes, the pachinko machine. I don't get why this was even implemented, even though this stage doesn't work with Sunshine's physics. Just to show you how badly programmed it is, in this case Mario jumps up, lands on one of these sticks and loses all of his momentum. Except he kind of doesn't. See, when you're now trying to move to the left, Mario will just glitch out and you won't be able to move. When you're now moving to the right though, Mario will fly away like a rocket, and in a worst case scenario it will get you killed. This is obviously the worst example of a glitchy stage in Sunshine, but there are a lot of minor glitches here and there that are sometimes helpful and can sometimes kill you. But the pachinko stage isn't the only level that feels unfinished. Just look at this level for example. It's a platform full of grass for some reason. It looks like a test stage you would create to test the grass physics and not like an actual level in a game. Sunshine has a special debug test stage that you can access with action replay. And every time I play the grass bonus stage, I have to think of it because they both look similarly unfinished. Both of these bonus stages genuinely feel like they were added to the game so it has enough shines. And you know what else was added to add 24 additional shines to the game? Yeah, the blue coins. There's probably no video on YouTube about Sunshine that doesn't mention the blue coins, and this video isn't an exception. And it's totally understandable considering how badly implemented they are. If you don't know what blue coins are, in Sunshine you have to collect 240 of them, 30 per stage, to get all shines, and they feel completely pointless considering how badly placed they are in most levels. I don't have anything against collectibles in games, if they aren't a chore to collect, but in Sunshine you don't get hints where they are, and as opposed to games like Banjo-Kazooie, where all the collectibles are lying around somewhere in plain sight or are easy to find, Sunshine places blue coins in random enemies, in a fucking lamp, and in places that you would never go to by just playing through the game. A game that has similar types of collectibles, even though they actually have a purpose there, is Metroid Prime. Prime's missile expansion are also scattered over the world map, but the game makes them a lot easier to find. First of all, they make a rather loud sound, they aren't hidden in enemies, and they are usually placed in a way that you can collect them while walking to your next objective or while you're searching for the Chozo artifacts. Sure, Prime didn't handle the collectibles perfectly either, but at least I can actually recall where everything is because the game actually gives you hints and doesn't just give them to piantas that are hidden somewhere 200 meters away from your actual mission that you have to complete. Nintendo seriously has to either scrap the blue coin idea entirely or decrease the amount by a huge margin in a remake. Place them so you can collect them on the go or while collecting the 100 coins, and make them available in every mission instead of limiting them to a specific one. This would also work hand in hand with my previous idea of adding more shines that are just placed in the level's environment, because it would actually make you explore places on the maps that are completely pointless in the original Mario Sunshine. So these were my major problems with Super Mario Sunshine. In the end, I want to make clear that I don't hate Sunshine. No, I actually like it, which is why I played through it 3 times. But I think the game has so much more potential that could be used by Nintendo. I'm also hoping for a remake because the Sunshine fanbase is getting desperate at this point, and they're already starting to create horrid looking HD texture packs for the game. Anyways, tell me what you think about Sunshine and if it really deserves a remake in the comments. And if you liked the video, then, well, you know what you have to do. See you next time. Bye.